I know y'all remember School Days, right?
Of course.
Okay, this is one of the part I got this off of School Days. Shout out to Spike Lee, and I thought this was very interesting when they had this conversation at what of all things KFC.
Are you black? Take a look in the mirror, man.
Look, man, you got a legitimate beef, all right? But it ain't with us, okay?
Are you black?
Hey, look, man, don't ever question the fact whether I'm black.
Don't ever question if I'm black. Man, Professor, you said a good thing when you say what you say. But Tim Dog, what's your thoughts about that?
I agree with Matt Professor when he said before. The only people questioning are those who's trying to, you know, make her look bad or make her feel like, oh, she's not for the black people. And black people are like, y'all need to shut the hell up. Because first of all, like he said before, JD Vance, are you going to call your kids Indian or white? I mean, you can't be hypocritical about it because that's what you're doing. All you're trying to do is pump that fear, that misinformation in y'all stupid ass base of the maggots so that they can repeat the same dumb shit to other people so that they can get in an argument and say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. All it is deflecting from the truth that these motherfuckers aren't ready to be in office and they scared of Kamala Harris. That's all that is.
I hear that. What you got to say about that? You got so many names I got to run through. Conspiracy brother number one.
Uncle's pet.
Well, you already know how I feel. Like I said, shows back. I no longer am. I'm not black. I'm not African American. I'm slowly doing research that I can. It's shit is plain as day. And what is black? Like this is black. We are not black. All of us are different shades of brown. So for them to say that, like I said, I don't even really see that shit no more. So to me, it's just still foolishness in the sense that she ain't black because it's difficult.
We lost short
because, I said,
short rib. He coughed and went out.
He ain't black.
Maybe you need to plug his stuff back into his old car.
Yeah, back in his old.
He spent all his money getting that new house again.
I can't afford my cable bill.
but I understand what you say. I understand what you say, conspiracy brother. But you know, everybody's not on that same wavelength of you right now. You know, Fast your thought. He said he's not black, but America's gonna look at him like they go black.
Once you come to this country, you become either black or white or
and that's what I was gonna say.
Not yellow, so
and I know conspiracy brother and I get in this argument almost weekly, and it's kind of hypocritical of me to say that somebody on the outside can't determine your race, but you really can't take the word of somebody who's trying to denigrate both sides of her race to use it against her, which is where they're coming from.
Wrong, but
they're not trying to say she doesn't like black people because she Indian, and they're not trying to say she don't like Indian people because she black. What they're trying to say is she don't like herself, which is the stupidest shit in the world, because if you listen to that woman, she loves herself. It's part of the reason why it's like I think it was Colin Cowherd said on his podcast yesterday or day before, he watched both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and before he had been a Donald Trump supporter years ago. But he said he sees the difference in the energy between the two of them. Kamala Harris is always smiling and laughing because she's having a good time, because she knows who she is and she knows what she's trying to get done. Whereas Donald Trump is always frowning and upset and pointing fingers and this and that because he has no real issue of self other than his massive ass ego. He don't know how to react to people and to reach out to people because he's so used to not having to, realizing that in politics you have to be able to reach out to people. You can't just say the stupidest thing in the world and expect the masses to follow you. And like I said, Kamala. Well, no, it honestly it hadn't worked. Because you got to remember, he's never won the popular vote.
That's right.
He only got through on the DEI of DEI of the electoral college. That's Republicans' affirmative action.
That's right.
So he only got through on that the first time. The second time he couldn't, which is why he's pissed off, because he figured that he should have already had it. That's why they're not letting go of the This the only country on the planet that picks its leader by the collective of electoral college rather than popular voting. And like I said, they're just trying to use her race against her because they have nothing else. It's like they keep trying to say she put black people in jail. She put everybody in jail. She put everybody in jail. So shut up about that.
Yeah, Tim Dog, your thoughts.
I agree with Mad Professor. I mean, to me, it just sounds like a bunch of people fishing for something. Like I said before, they throwing something against the wall to see what stick.
Yeah.
And that's it. They're not talking about issues. They're not talking about what they're going to try and do to the country. All they're talking about is what she's not going to do, what she's not, what they already done. I mean, if you have a problem with something, you resolve it with a solution, not with an attitude or saying that it's their fault. If you know something's wrong, I mean, correct it. Don't sit there and talk about it, because talking about it does nothing. You're going nowhere.
I got you. Conspiracy brother, man, your rebuttal to what they just said. Did you forget?
Looking like Neanderthal man.
Nah, but what they said though, I was listening, but you know. Next subject.
No, man. Yeah, no, because this is what we talk about all night, man. This is what it's going to be all night, man. But hey, I know y'all say a lot of is mainly coming from white folks, but it's not only white folks, man. You got brothers and sisters out there saying the same damn thing.
Last week, before Trump appeared at the NABJ, Joel D., a Harrisburg, Pennsylvania CBS network anchor, went to a central Pennsylvania barbershop seeking some candid conversation. Among the revelations, that some of the black men that he interviewed did not regard Harris as black.
Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Well, hold on, first. Ray, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow. Is Kamala black? Yes or no?
I heard she was. I heard she's half black and half Asian.
When I played that audio on my SiriusXM radio program on Thursday, many callers who self-identified as African American were quick to tell me that those men were the exception, not the rule. Some described them as low information voters, no different than you'd find among whites.
There you have it, Matt Professor. It's not just the white folks saying that. You got some black people out there saying
but
that.
Did you hear them denigrate? But did you hear them use it in a derogatory way?
Nope.
And that's the problem. That's the complete difference. Now, these black men that saying that she's not black and this and that. Look who went to ask the question. Send a black person to ask the same question of those same people, and I bet they'll get a different answer. The issue I have with is who went and asked the question. Where did he go to ask the question? Because you notice the first brother said, I'm gonna let her decide what she want to decide. She's too racist, so she can decide which one she thinks benefit her. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. The issue I have with are the other three who like, well, I heard she this. She ain't this. She ain't, bruh. Really? She probably more black than y'all. She at least she knows where she from. Y'all don't know where you from. Because I guarantee you those fatherless ass dudes, they don't know their life. They don't know nothing about what their past. They don't know nothing about their family. And I'm sorry, I said that in a joking manner, but like I said, they just did that. They just said that because of who was asking the question and what they want people to believe about the three of them. They know who she is. They know damn well who she is. That's why they answer that way.
Okay, what you got to say about that, conspiracy brother? You heard the brothers, because we were saying that's usually white men and white women basically saying it, but you had some black men saying that, hey, they don't think she's black. Your thoughts?
Well, see, I come back to that same question I asked earlier. What is black? Like what makes you black? Is it just the color of your skin? Because there's people that come from other countries, but once they come here, they become black, and they ain't got shit to do with how black people are in this country.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. What is black? So
I like that, boy.
Yeah, just like I said, they got Colombians and Cubans and all these people from other countries that come here dark skinned or brown skin again. So what? Tell me what is black, so I can make the distinction to say that she's not that.
Between the
Because
two.
ain't no telling what it is. It's people. I'm
I got you.
assuming. So it's just because they say she's black or Filipino. So now she's a race and a color.
Okay, I got you. Tim
That don't
Dog,
make
your
no
thoughts.
sense.
Tim Dog, your thoughts.
I say them brothers didn't get paid well.
Right. Right.
They got some dudes from off the street, baby daddies, and had them say some shit
Qualifications.
and
I
give
like
them
that,
some
Miss
money.
Elena.
But the first dude was correct in saying it first. Now I'm gonna let her decide that, and she should be the only one decide that, not us, not them, her. If she wants to embrace her both sides of her ethnicity, that's her right.
Exactly.
Which is
So the
Jamaican
only
and
issue I
whatever.
see with it is that they're trying to find something to pick with her once again. But yet she keeps the high road and keeps on smiling. And that's one thing that really probably pisses them off the most, is because she, like they said, she smiles, she's energetic, she's look like she's having fun, and the motherfuckers don't like that. Oh shit, we in trouble. You damn right you in trouble. What your mama say, be careful what you wish for. They wanted Joe out.
Yeah, but let's flip it another way. Let's say if it's not somebody that's seen the public eye. Let's say it's just a person on the street. You know what I'm saying? And you always hear it, man. You're not black enough. You can't say that. You know, just like when the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Well,
When
Drake ain't black.
but hey, yeah, see what I'm saying? So you just made my point. You just made my point. You just made my point.
I'm making a joke.
I got you. I got you, but you made my point in that joke. When people like, hey, I want to hear you say the N-word no more, because they don't consider him to be black. Mad Professor.
Well, see, like it's like Miss Wiley just said. It's more about her qualifications rather than her ethnicity.
But I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about
no.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm turning around on that.
Okay.
And the problem is, like I said, the people who say she's not black enough are the ones who don't understand her background any damn way. Because they don't, and that's the thing. You know how that dumbass rapper Ray Schmurd, or however the hell you say that stupid ass name of his, said, "Do your research, nigga. Did you do yours? Because I promise you, you didn't. I promise you, you didn't. You only saw Donald Trump release like 5 black people of the few hundred people that he released that weren't black, and went, oh, he for black people. And like I said, the issue is the people on the outside trying to put her in the box that they want to put her in, rather than looking at everything she's done and saying, maybe she might be the best person. Because whether or not she's black, whether or not she's Indian, I'll throw white in there. Whether or not she's white, is she the person for the job? And that's the whole problem. It's like Miss Wiley said, you can't question the qualifications. She's not, excuse me, at this point in her career and life, she's more qualified than Obama when he won. Way more qualified. And it's not even close. So like I said, I don't care if she want to consider herself the first Indian president, vice president, whatever. That shit don't matter to me. My thing is, she's the first woman to do it. She should be the first woman to be president, period. Because like I said, she's more qualified than the guys that she's running against. And they're only using race to try to put her in the box and say she don't know who she is. And look, maggots, look who she is. So they're trying to use the same argument 2 different ways.
Yep. Okay. And his followers, all they doing is repeating, like I said before, the same, shit. I'm not gonna say idiocracy, but they already hypnotized by this dude. I mean, instead of him sitting up there using all this for revenge and evil, he could have been one of the greatest. But his ego, his lack of empathy, his just everything about him is negative, and people just don't see it. They see him as a god, as some people would say. I'm like, what? What would possess you to wear a piece of bandage on your ear just because this motherfucker had one? Come on now. That's
that's what I'm saying though. I'm not, I'm trying to get off of the political aspect of it, because you got everyday people that are biracial, but then we have people saying that he's not black enough or she's not black enough, or they're, we look at them and we say, okay, just like I say, brought up the thing about Drake. Oh, he's not black enough. He shouldn't be able to say the N word. And before I go to you, conspiracy brother, this is what I got this off of Google, and they say the social construct in the United States, blackness has been historically constructed as a master status that defines someone as black if they have any evidence of African ancestry. This status overrides other individual traits and characteristics. Tell I've been drinking, and erases differences between people labeled as black. Black inferiority has been built into the formal and informal structure of U.S. society, both explicitly and implicitly. Your thoughts? You mute.
Unmute.
Yeah. There you go.
And this is why I no longer subscribe to calling myself black. Because hell, if we go off the light skin thing, shit, when I was young, I was barely dark enough to say the word. Hell, I would.
Amen. Amen.
I wouldn't earn that privilege. But to me, like how my mindset is now, to me, just to be called the color, to me now it's so much bigger, because like I said, she's Jamaican and Indian.
That's right.
So again, you just throw her into the black pot now. You just
but see, that's
remove.
But I don't want to cut you off. But the first thing you said is, see, that's why I don't consider myself a color, shows why you should, because you can't let others define black as an inferior. And that's the problem I have with it. They're trying to use black as an inferior. They're saying she don't want to be black because she's embarrassed to be black. Black is inferior, so she don't want to use that part. It's why the darker skinned Asian population, like Indians, have integrated themselves into America and integrated themselves with their own colonizers to the point where they wouldn't consider themselves Indian. They wouldn't consider themselves any other thing but British for a long time. And when they come here, they have that same inferiority where they feel superior to people who are born here of a different color that's not white. And that's the problem. They're trying to use this as a way to say she's not qualified to do the job that we feel white men are supposed to have naturally because of their whiteness.
Tim Dog,
that's the thing. The people that are the ones who made the rules of black and white are the ones that's telling us this. So they are the ones that's telling us we're black. This is not who we are. They said that. This is what they make us say. Because before they got here, we want black, we want African American. So, but this is what they tell us. So this is their mindset, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't accept that mindset. It's not that it's a bad thing, but I'm not accepting the mindset that they have told us that we are versus us learning and knowing who we are. They keep saying you're black, you're black.
But
conspiracy.
I just said that because your opening statement to your last statement was, that is why I don't consider myself black, after the man on the street said black being considered inferior. That's the only reason I said
that's
that.
why. That's why.
But like I said, I'm not going to let them. I'm not going to let them determine black being inferior, because it's not. It's clearly not.
But I'm not letting them determine that I'm black at all. That's what I'm doing. You're not letting them determine the word. I'm not letting them determine.
They can tell me I'm black all. They can tell me I'm black all they want, but they can't tell me I'm inferior to them in any way, shape, or form.
If anything, look, I'm brown. I'm brown. There's not even my beard and all this shit. This is not black. I got so many different colors.
My hair isn't black.
So
mine's
what
brown.
I'm saying is that's what I'm saying. They calling us black. His shirt is black. Black. We're not that. We're at the lowest. Everyone is brown, a different shade of brown. Even white people,
brown Americans,
light brown people.
I understand what you're saying, but it goes back to what I said earlier. In the American eye, or to American people, they did not consider you just to be a race. They not consider you to be neutral. They go to label you one way or another, even though you might say to yourself, "Hey, I'm not black." I'm not this, I'm not that. But they're going to label you as such. Tim Dawes, your thought?
Well, I just have two statements. One, it just goes back to when we were called Africans, when we were slaves. Once we were set free from slavery in the South, they still considered us as slaves, as black men, whereas most countries in up north, we were African Americans. Over the years, when the United States, excuse me, colored. I apologize, colored. When the Europeans in the early 20th century were coming over getting land, the United States would not allow black people to qualify for these lands, even though they knew that the colored people needed housing and land too. Because when Garfield died, his vice president was the one that stopped 40 acres and a mule. The South created Jim Crow to keep us suppressed.
Yes.
And from there, it just spread out. The North knew, but tried to ignore it. My second statement. I have a son who is black, white, and Korean. He married, his girlfriend, his baby mother. I'm not going to say mama because she's a wonderful person, wonderful mother. She is Indian, Native American, and white. Now, my son, he's 3, but they say black dominates only because I'm full black, supposedly, and his mom is half. So my grandson, that black dominance gets erased. My son growing up, I told him, I'm not going to say if you black or white. You can put other, and you don't have to explain yourself. And he's done that all his life. Now, he identifies himself as being both black, white, and Korean only because that's what he wants. That's what he believes, and he embraces all of it. Now, my grandson, I told him, you do him the same way. Let him identify himself. Don't let nobody else, tell him who he is. I didn't do that to my son. So the concept of us being black, like Conspiracy Brothers said, we were told this, we were black as a negative. Mad Professor said it when black being inferior. So in the South, inferior meant black. Everything was negative. Black Monday, black this, because it was bad. And it just associated with us. Yeah.
But they flipped it for Black Friday.
Only because black people go out there and spend the money. But anyway,
we know why. But
yeah. Finish your thought. But that's what I'm saying. You can't tell someone who they are, what they are. Conspiracy Brother said that's why I don't call myself black. I mean, that's his prerogative. That's his right, because he has other nationalities. I just found out that my grandfather was half black, half Lithuanian. Does that make me a European?
Yeah,
makes you a colonizer.
Yeah, make you a colonizer.
Half colonizer,
But see, I
didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
My nephew, which is my brother's son, he is lighter and has lighter brown hair. We all have brown hair; it's real dark. But my nephew, his hair is really brown, like my grandfather's used to be. So all that, people need to stop labeling. When you start labeling, then you start becoming what's the word I'm looking? You don't want to segregate from them. You want to be discriminative.
Yeah.
And you can't have that in America because everybody is mixed with everything. Now, one of those maggots down there can say that they Native American because that's the only people who are native to this land.
Okay. You see the question down there,
brother.
Here we come. You can't come in late. You just got up from your nap, Pharaoh King.
Yeah, had some problems with my my lawnmower and my phone.
Okay, my brother.
I was going to be late.
But you work your lawnmower through your phone?
Yeah.
No, sandwich got caught up in it.
You had me buy that secondhand goddamn lawnmower.
You got to buy one, get one.
But you came in right at the right goddamn time because, man, I want to hear your thoughts on this right here because you brought it up. You say everybody's basically, got a little bit of everything. We like a melting pot. But, It depends on
Mm.
how you identify yourself as, and that's a good question right there. You know, basically she broke it down. You know, she's identified as black. She's a biracial child. You know, father's white, mother was black. Your thoughts,
Just like
Pharaoh?
I said.
I ain't got no thoughts on that. That's just how
I
it
just
is.
want to see what happened if somebody
Yeah.
looked like me walked through that town.
They were like, God damn.
Well, I would tell you that, you know, I had to cut the video up. She did say that there are some of her family members that are dark skinned rather. They, you know, darker than what she is. So, but my thing is, I was talking to one of my fellow coworkers on Watson. He's biracial. His mother is white. His father was black. His wife is Vietnamese. So I was talking to him. I want to get his thoughts. Cause I said, man, you know, I want to talk about this tonight. I said, man, don't tell me if I step over my bounds, because I want to hear what he has to say. Now, my question to him was, how do you explain to your kids what, I guess, race, or how would they identify themselves? And he said to me, he said he never thought about it. He never thought about it like that. And that goes back to what Conspiracy Brother probably is saying, that most people probably not thinking that way because probably got away from that. But he was telling me a story. He said he was in the car with his son. His son is 11. He said that they was singing some song, and the N-word came up, right? And you, of course, you know, because he identifies himself as being black, and he said the N-word. He said, son, just stop right past the N-word. And he had to ask his son and say, why did you stop? Because he was like, I don't think I could say that. I don't think I could say the N-word. And he told him, son, I hate to tell you, you are black. You are black. So my question to you,
tell him that.
No, but what I'm trying,
son, he say it all the time.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you're biracial, and his son, like he told me, he said, my son could pass for a white man.
Man on the street. I'm gonna stop you right there. Man on the street.
Can I finish?
What are my kids?
Let me finish my thought. Then you could jump in, because I asked you. You said you had nothing to say. Didn't I? Let me finish my thought to what he said. I'm telling you what he said. I'm not talking about for me. I'm telling you what he said. He said that, man, it was just it just felt weird because he never looked at his child as anything other than being black. Now go ahead.
I mean, you don't go into your children thinking that my children are going to be like, I never said my children are going to be black or my children are going to be Cambodian. You see what I'm saying? I don't think of that way. They know who they are when they're growing up. The only thing I have to explain to them is when people question them, to just tell them I'm a black American that happen to be mixed with Cambodian. Or vice versa. I'm Cambodian, happen to be mixed with black. Or like my daughter says, I'm black Bodian. In either way, they have melanin in their skin. So, you know, what's a Conspiracy Brother knows my family. I got the lightest of light, which was my mom, to the darkest of dark, which is my dad and the rest of my family. So we don't see color in our family. Other people see color. We don't see no color. That's just how it is.
And I guess that's what I'm talking about. If you don't see color in your family, but other people do, how do you have that conversation with your kids or anybody that's biracial? Because like I said, like I started when I went and asked him, I say, man, hey, if I step over my bounds, let me know. But he told me, he said, Chuck, you know, I live nothing but around black people. I live around white people. But for me, I identify as being black. And that's what I'm trying to say. How do you have that type of conversation?
You know what? Black people the most.
But everybody else saying that you're this or you're that. That's what I'm trying to say. How do you have that type of conversation?
Well, first of all, my family, the black people, we have a problem with our own skin color.
Yeah, that's true.
So with that being said, I'm going to tell them,
you've been trained that way.
And that's the first half of the show.
I know.
We covered this,
which I apologize to the lounge and everything. But no, we have a problem with our own skin color. We can't even get out of our own prejudices before we start talking about somebody else. But then with that being said, if my kids Jaden, he has a person at work that he deals with. You know, Alexis had a couple people in college. That's why she's back home, because of that same situation. But they handled it the best way they knew how. So, you know, they know who they are. At the end of the day, you ain't got to explain yourself to nobody.
Your thoughts, Mad Professor?
Well, that's been my whole point. Is some people feel that being called black is such a derogatory thing that they don't want to identify themselves as black. And I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm not saying that. But you can clearly see people like Candace Owens who think that black is inferior, so she don't claim black, even though she's darker than most of us that's on this panel.
Don't say her. No, what's that dude? Jesse Peterson, or what's his name?
Well, Jesse Lee Peterson with his dumb ass.
Mike Tirico.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just like the word nigger. Forever, nigger was used as a term of derogatory, inflection. But now it's something that we look at as, hey, we call each other that, which whether or not you like it or not, it's, it is what it is. But now we flip that around and we've let black being we let us being called black a horrible thing, where back in the day colored was the horrible thing, but being called black was right. Now being colored would be considered being called a nigger. So we need to decide what we want to be called, and I've been saying this for a long time. We need to decide what we want to be called, since they won't let us, since none of us want to be called American for some reason. I'm an American. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That's my race, American. Now my subreddit, if you will, is black. I am black, but I'm an American first. So it goes to the whole thing. Am I black? Yes. Am I American? Yes. Hell yes. But I'm not letting them say my blackness is a hindrance at all. Whether or not it is, I'm not calling it a hindrance, because honestly, it's like I've always said, I don't want to be white. I just want privileges like white people. That is all, or the equality that white people give to themselves that they
especially
won't let me have.
Tickets.
Right. So that's all I've ever wanted. I've never wanted to be another race than black.
Okay, Tim Dawes, your thoughts?
My son, he asked me. He knows that he can ask me anything. He asked me one time, he came home crying once, some of my kids were teasing him on the bus because he was short. I said, well, teasing because they dumb. He solved that problem.
Right.
I mean, people gonna bully you only because they think that you're going to take it and not do anything. No. Then he asked me, what race am I? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you black and mom's Korean and white. What race am I? And that's when I explained to him, I'm not gonna say that you black, white, or Korean. I told him that you all mix with all of them. When you put down on your application, you could put other if that's what you want. But I didn't tell him he was black. I didn't tell him he was white. I didn't tell him he was Korean. I let him choose for himself, because he's all of that. Whichever one he wants to embrace, I don't care, because I'm going to love him regardless. And he embraces all that. He knows some Korean. And like I said, with my grandson, with that situation, he's going to probably do the same thing, because I'm sure he's going to go through that, my grandson. And
I got you.
And I'm sure he's going to teach him the same way. If people want to tease you about it, you tease them back. That ain't their right.
I got you. Conspiracy brother, your thoughts?
And see, this is perfect. This is exactly what the purpose of the races and the colors and all this is, to have people confused on who they truly are and where they truly come from. Because ain't none of us can sit here and say we truly come from anywhere, because we truly don't know, because we've been told to call ourselves black. We've been told to call ourselves African American. We've been told to call ourselves white, Asian. We've been told that. We don't know if it's true or not. That's what, again, to keep us separated and people not knowing who they truly are. And to me, that's why I hate the concept of all of it in general, because the only thing I know, and I can guarantee, is that I'm a native. Hell, my color, like I said, my color changed multiple times from the time I was small to how I look now. So if you spend enough time in the sun, hell, anybody can become dark enough to be considered black. So again, to me, it's all about confusing people and keeping us lost and separated.
Well,
You know,
it's kind of like human nature because when people pick their teams, their favorite sports team, they normally pick from the team that they're closest to and hate the rivals. I mean, it's the same thing with race. You close to a certain race, you don't like that one. And that's just the way we are. We are programmed as humans to, have choices. But sometimes we allow ourselves to have those choices dominate our common sense,
and,
reality.
I understand everything that everybody is saying, and I agree with what y'all saying. But we all don't live in a utopia, though. We don't live in a utopia where everybody thinks everything's just the way that you think. Just because you don't discuss race in your family or you don't discuss race with your kids, once they leave out of your view, they're going to get it because America is going to look at them and say, you are this. Even though I know conspiracy brothers saying, hey, but they are. They are.
Yeah, but see, that's what us as parents, we prepare them for that.
Okay.
We let them know what's going to happen. We let them know that people going to say this now. I told my son, and he hears it now. They don't know if he's Colombian, black, white, or whatever. They say he's from South America because he's dark, but yet he has light and he has that golden complexion, whatever. And his hair is like he got the good hair, as we would say.
Yeah, shit, Jaden's Puerto Rican. He Puerto Rican.
See,
they don't even no damn Asian in him.
Like Pharaoh King, he got that good hair. But I'm sure you were growing up, people used to mess with you. They were like, "Oh, what do you mix with?" and
Shit,
be
them
jealous
motherfuckers
of
still
him
mess
just
with me.
because he is. Because some people can't be because they want to be. They want to be something other than black.
Man, I'm 52 and I still get it.
Yeah, and conspiracy, but I'm gonna give you the final thought on what we just talked about.
Oh,
Well, like I said, I don't have any problem with being black. The problem I have is them telling me that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it all boils down to. They are telling me this is what I am, and they're telling us this is what we are, keeping us confused. Again, that's what I'm gonna go back to. And we all argue about we argue about light skin and dark skin as black people. And it's all here. It's all to keep everyone separated. If they keep us even more separated than they keep the other groups, it's going to be even harder to come together because this and that. So to me, it's just a game of separation at every point that they can make.
And
They're
I've
going
always
to find
said
the
that.
slightest thing to separate.
The frontal lobe.
Always said that. And Chuck, man on the street, I've always said that.
I
preach that every day.
Yeah, and I want you. Matter of fact, I want you to come back because what y'all just say, it makes a lot of sense. I got this from Angela Yee off of her podcast called Lip Service, and this
Angry
young lady,
who? What?
Angela Yee. Yeah,
oh,
she had this young lady. She had this young lady.
She's mixed too.
She had this young lady on her show that wrote a book, and it was a good the way that she explained why she wrote the book. Pharaoh King, I want you to expound on it once you watch this video. Your thoughts.
And
Pharaoh.
I agree with her. I'd rather use the term ethnical than biracial.
Ethnic.
I got you.
Yeah. I'd rather use that because that's what we
shades,
are.
same color.
Yes.
Right? Biracial, we all the same race. Everybody's the same. This is a human race. There's nothing else.
That's right.
Right. So I'd rather use the term multi-ethnical. Well, ethical. What the hell did I say?
Ethnic.
Multi-ethnic.
Multi-ethnic. That's what I'm trying to say. But listen.
Man, put the sandwich down. Need to talk.
But with that being said, man, I've been asked if I was Puerto Rican or Dominican as I was growing up in Florida. My mother being light skinned, my dad being, from South Carolina. And hell, he even told me a story about when he almost got ran off the road because people thought he was in the car with a white woman, And my mom was black as she comes. So with that being said, I was never black enough, and I damn sure wasn't white enough. I was always trying to find myself up until I actually joined the service, and I realized that if you're not just yourself, you're going to always try to fit in with some other people. And I got tired of trying to fit in. So I became me. I had to figure out, hey, you know what? This is me. This is who I am. You ain't gotta like me, but you will respect me. And that's why I'm so tough on disrespect, because there's a lot of disrespectful people that don't want to respect who you are. And like I said, I never see myself as like, black. Like if you go to Africa, you're not black, you're African. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
know
so
what,
why
Earl?
can't we be like I said, why can't we be just American? I call you Mr. Jenkins. I call you, Mr. Major. That's, why can't we just do that? Why we got to have color with everything? Colorism is killing us.
I got you. Your thoughts, man, Professor.
Well, yeah, colorism kills, but unfortunately, it's the game we have to play right now. And like I said, until this non-racial utopia comes about, we're gonna always be colorized, and that's the problem. And Miss Elena, you have your opinion, of course, counts. Your opinion, of course, counts. Whether and yes, we're all different shades of the same race, the human race, yes. But like I said, until and I don't want to use the phrase powers that be, because that gives them too much damn power. But until everyone feels the way Conspiracy Brother feels, we're gonna be classed by color. And I mean that's just the bottom line. And that change may not come in any of our lifetimes. But
it's all about starting the change. If we don't start it, you're right, it won't come.
Well, no, a lot of people
started
Conspiracy Brother. People been starting it since the end of slavery. But
but it's a different time now when people
actually,
were
I would say before
by
that,
what society, what the government was telling us. But now we have outlets where people can see people of other colors, and see that they're not what they said, or they don't do. They fucking this motherfucker more like me than he white, and he's more like me than other black people I've known. So, and that's what I'm saying. They use that, and like I said, she said multi-ethnic. We all of that, and we all truly don't know. Again, we all truly don't know where we come from, because
but except for that,
everywhere is run by governments.
Except for that Negro with that loud ass cup, you can hear every goddamn thing. All the ices, every goddamn thing. Tim,
damn your Norwegians.
Tim, your thoughts, man.
Man, my thought is this: it's just you have these small groups of people who are afraid that they're going to be the minority, which, like the young lady said, they will be someday. And like my professor said, maybe not in our lifetime, but it's going to happen. And it's already happening now. You have multiracial, multinational people congregating together. Yes, eventually it's going to dominate the country, because you can't stop birth. You can't stop people from loving each other. And you definitely can't stop one race from breeding from another. Eventually it will happen. And you have these right wingers like Donald Trump and his maggots who feel as though, we're not gonna live as a white society. You're not a full white society yourself. Is your bloodline all European? Because if it's not, then you're not a Native American, you're not a Mexican, you're not an Italian. I mean, you're not even from this country, this originally. So
his children aren't.
Thank you.
All European.
And I'm sure if some of these people just research their heritage, they will see some things that that can't be, and they don't want to accept.
Like they want slaves.
Well, I'm gonna say something.
In a way, yeah, you're right. And I know you're trying to be funny, but
we've been I'm not being funny. I'm being serious as shit. That they tell us one story. They say that every black person in this fucking country comes from from slaves.
No.
But that's what they tell us, because they call every black person here African American or black. So essentially, that's what they're saying. What you checking off African American or black, you saying yes.
Southern Pacific Islanders, are they black? Yeah, they have dark skin. A lot of them.
Again, if they check off the box, if they check the box that the government has provided, saying that they accept that. So if you stop checking that box that says
that's
I'm
the
black,
labelization
I'm
for once again
y'all can't talk at
legally segregate.
He don't want me to finish.
I'm
that's
sorry,
what I'm saying.
No, you're right. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying that is the way that once again that the people who feel as though they are majority can separate and legally segregate. And hey, you don't like something to eat, you don't want to eat it. I don't like that person, I don't want them to have anything. It's the same concept.
Okay.
You
What
know,
you got?
like
When
I
you was gonna
said,
say
as
something,
long
Matt
as we
Professor?
keep accepting that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people aren't. That's why I said the population is changing.
Yeah. What you
It's
was gonna
already
say, Matt
is.
Professor?
Well, all I was gonna say, I honestly don't remember anymore. No, all I was gonna say was the problem with the problem with a lot of this is you don't know where you came from, and the only way you can determine whether or not you're a pure this or pure that is if your family tree is a goddamn wreath. And I'm not going to say I came up with that. I watched a video where somebody said that unless your family tree is a goddamn wreath, and you know what a Christmas wreath looks like, you can't say what's not in your family. And the issue, like I said, is, and I said it earlier today, is the term black has become a thing of derision and made to be inferior. It's made to seem inferior to every damn thing else. And like I said, it's why, and I didn't say this earlier, but it's like when Japanese people started moving to this country before World War II, and during World War II, when they were in internment camps, when they were released back into public, they intimated themselves into white society since they were lighter skinned. And
Matt Professor, you went out.
Ooh.
Matt Professor got
Because he
stuck.
lying.
a race from outside the country, but they I'm about to, did I get us cut off?
No, you got stuck.
guy, you were cut off.
You were cut off.
No, oh no, all of y'all cut off to me. Okay. I guess those Japanese people don't like me talking about them.
Yeah, that's called xenophobia.
I don't give a damn. But anyway,
but it is
like
I
was saying,
xenophobia.
but like I was saying, they integrated themselves into white society, especially here in America, and it almost actually spread across the Pacific, because now they have Japanese black people who are ostracized in their society because of the color of their skin. And like I said, it goes back to black being determined as something negative. And like I said, until people overcome that stupid ass bias, it's always going to be some black people who don't want to be considered black. It's always going to be some white people or non-black people who want to consider black to be inferior to them in whatever they do.
And it goes back to
Just for the record, I don't want to be black because that's what they're telling me I am when I know I'm not. That's the reason. I don't care that it's negative. I'm saying because the government has told me this when I'm
The government also told you you're a veteran. Do you not accept that?
Your mama told you was black, boy.
Yeah.
I know I served in the army. I was there for that. I wasn't there when they made them
Then
papers.
you was born to a black woman and a black man, bro.
We gonna say
told
you,
her she was there.
we gonna say
we
gonna say you was there. We gonna say you was there, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Oh, he ain't served.
I'm not sure. Bro, man, your final thoughts on what we just talked about.
All I'd say is my wife, being of Cambodian descent, has the same issue in her own country with their own people segregating them because of, the darker your skin, the more of a field worker. The lighter your skin, they bleach their skin too because Western, influence. So they go through the same thing in their own culture. And I'm pretty sure most people around the globe have that same caste system within their own societies. So with us being, with us being here in America, it's more magnified because of the history of America.
And I'm gonna say this quickly. That's why in Japan, a lot of people still walk around with dark umbrellas so that they don't darken their skin any.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they got that from the Europeans too. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna bring it back, and then I want y'all to define it, because just like the topic is what defines your blackness, and I'm gonna show the video one more time.
Are you black? Take a look in the mirror, man.
Look, man, you got a legitimate beef, all right? But it ain't with us, okay?
Are you black?
Hey, look, man, don't ever question the fact whether I'm black.
So the question to you, Tim Dog, what defines you or anybody blackness? In your words.
In my words?
Yeah.
If the police pull you over for no
Oh, Lord.
reason and ask you,
Negro, please.
hey, that means you're black.
Well, see, I'm gonna say the one thing about that clip in the movie was he was questioning his blackness because he was getting educated.
That's right.
That's right.
And so I mean that clip in the movie makes sense for our discussion, but in a way
That's
it
right.
kind of doesn't, because they were talking about being educated and not staying the ignorant black person that Samuel L. Jackson's character was, and against becoming the educated person that Lawrence Fishburne's character was.
But
No, but
I'm gonna
seriously,
push back. Me push back just a little bit. Me push back a little bit, because most people, most uneducated black, I'm gonna say black people, would say that a person that's being
Well, yeah.
educated, you trying to be more than a black
Right.
man or a
And
black
that's
woman.
and that's the point. That was the point of the clip. That was the honest point of the clip.
Yeah, but what defines that's why I asked you in your own words. I'm being serious. I'm being
No,
serious tonight. I know.
seriously, it's all
I'm being,
about a state of mind.
yeah,
It's
okay.
all
That's what I'm
about
saying. I'm
how
trying to be.
you feel about yourself and
Okay.
your ethnicity and your heritage. Where do you
Okay.
want your heritage to go from? Now,
Okay, then.
if I want my heritage to go black, more than likely, yes. Do I want to pass it on to my son? Yes, I would. But that is his prerogative because he has choices. I didn't have a choice. Most of us, unlike Pharaoh King, we don't have a choice. You know, our blackness defines us about no, Pharaoh. Come on now. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna tell you what's below my
No,
waist.
no,
to
you
find me
like
is
my
black,
son. No, no,
goddammit.
but
Oh,
you
good
like my
Lord.
son though.
Oh
But you
my
like my
God,
son.
he went
You
there.
got teased a lot, and people will
Yeah.
say something. But unlike my
yeah.
son, I told him, hey, tease them back. You know,
Okay.
nobody can
Yeah.
tell you, like you said, when you came in the army, that's when you decided, you know what, fuck this. Nobody can tell you who you are.
That's
Nobody
right.
can
Okay.
tell you what you're gonna be, but you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And it's about a state of mind. If you don't want to be black, oh well. If you want to take the heritage side of your mom, that's cool too. But you know you have an option to
Okay,
choose
then.
whichever one you want.
Okay, then, conspiracy brother. What defines a person blackness? I know you say that you're trying to get out of of the
I ain't
race
trying.
thing,
I'm gone.
but
I'm
okay, you
gone.
gone. So
You
in your
truly are.
words, in your words, how can people get to where you are?
Nappy hair.
Boy, this thing curly when it get wet and then you twirl it.
Nappy beard.
Nah, man. To get like me, you just have to I wanted to know where I came from, like where, and everything that I found out led to a certain starting point, and there's nothing before those points. It's like they were born, and that's it. My great grandparents were born. They were just born. They don't have no parents of record. From the government says they were born in 1830, and that's where our lineage started. The question that got me saying I'm not black anymore is because where did it come from before? And all the research and information that I've learned, they were free. So in 1830 in Louisiana, you got free people. But like I said, this shit, like what I know and what I've learned, shit deep. And like I said, you have to want to know who you are, and not by what the government. And again, the government has told us we're African Americans, we're Caucasian, Asian, white, Puerto Rican. Well, black and white are the only two things that's on. Everything else is actually ethnic shit. Black and white is the only thing because they had to do something for once the country became what is it?
Integrated.
Yeah,
Integrated.
with people from different countries. They had no choice. It couldn't just be black and white anymore like they planned it. So like I said, once I decided to see deeper into what I wanted to know, that's what, so it's hard to find what blackness is for me at this point.
Okay, I
It's a
got you.
color.
I got you. Pharaoh King, your thoughts. What in your words, what defines blackness?
Your heritage, who you brought up, your morals, what you was taught from your parents. In my case, being a military brat, growing up amongst a bunch of different ethnicities, just knowing what my dad and my mother told me. That's how I know how I was, who I was. It was getting around other people that didn't share my experiences is what the confusion was. But once I straightened that out, It was straightforward. So I would say your parents, my parents taught me who I was.
I think that was probably easy for my son too, having the multinational racial kids when I was in Georgia and New Jersey, around where he could see that there are other different people. But in South Carolina, no, excuse me, in Georgia, that's when he experienced the most people who didn't like who he was, being black or white. And they tried to antagonize him with that. But I showed him
because
that,
they were confused.
Yeah, it's not just that they were confused. A lot of kids do that because they don't know and they see other kids doing it, so they join in. It's more like a peer pressure thing.
No, I'm talking about the parents. The parents didn't know. The parents didn't teach them. The parents are going to, so they learn. They're learning from what their parents.
There you go.
Their parents have. So you know what I mean.
There you go.
That's what it comes from.
I got you.
And that's, and I admire.
Because I don't know how many times my daughter said everybody at school called her Chinese, and she goes, "Do I look, effing Chinese?" You know what I mean?
She
had to defend herself.
Like you must have got Puerto Rican, he got Dominican, he got all that.
Everybody's Chinese or everybody's Hispanic.
Yeah, because he got the slanted eyes because his mom is half.
No, I'm saying the ignorant people. That's what they say. You either Chinese or you Hispanic. There's nothing defining that.
Okay, I got you. Math professor, what defines a person's blackness? In your words.
I think I said it earlier. It's partially all the answers, but heritage, how you decide to define yourself, and damn sure how you feel about it. Because like I said, I feel good to be black, so that's how I'm gonna call myself. I mean, it's not just my color. I mean, my color is 90% of it, but the rest of it is how I was brought up, how I was taught, what I was taught to love about myself. That's my blackness.
I like that.
Hey, conspiracy brother, what did I tell my dad when we was in Florida?
He don't remember. He
I'm about to say, bro.
When he elbowed him, I said, "Thanks, Dad."
Memory kombucha.
Oh yeah.
I would say this. My final thought, man. Before we go,
making me black. He just looked at me like, "What?
You Japanese, man."
Before we go to our closing statement, see, I agree with everybody on this panel, man. But like I say, I know when we had our sports show, the Better Than Sex Sports podcast goes down every Wednesday night at 7:00. I say that we was going to get on here Friday night and we was going to talk some nonsense. But like I said before,
kept me quiet.
The thing about Kamala Harris came about, and then I was, just doing a little bit of research, and then I wanted one of us brothers to get on here and talk about what makes a person, what defines a person's blackness. And as you can see, everybody got different thoughts. We agree on some things we don't agree on, and it goes back to like y'all say, it depends on how you view yourself. Which is how other people's going to view you as well. But my thing was, you could have a good utopia amongst yourself, but once you go outside of your utopia, now you got to deal with other people's biases and how they look at you. And that,
but see, you learn from that too. You learn that.
I got you learn from that, but what I'm saying is,
you discover that there's hate or love or whatever, and
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it goes back to like Pharaoh King said, and I think everybody say, is how you identify yourself. You have to love yourself. As long as you love yourself, you don't worry about what other people may call you, or just like conspiracy brothers say, hey, if I don't, I'm gonna check other. I'm not gonna check anything. And I think the problem that America has is they still have those titles on the applications. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They shouldn't be those
stuck
titles
in the box.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They check the box. And I agree with what Mad Professor said. It's not gonna change in our lifetime. I see the change in my grandkids. I tell you right now, I see the change in my grandkids. I see the change in other kids as well. But hey, we are here, and my thing with the Kamala Harris situation, even though
you be killing her,
she is, Kamala, yeah. But Kamala Harris,
You just said chamomile just a second ago.
You know
I
what I'm
thought you
saying,
said
man.
Carmex.
With Kamala Harris is that it shouldn't be about her race. It should be about what she could do for the American people. And that's the issue that I have. What does her blackness have to do with her running the country? It shouldn't even come up. Can she do the job? And that's why
they say it's gonna be free chicken Friday.
yeah. And that's why I want us to have this conversation, because we all got different views on how we look at, I guess you could say, blackness.